1, 2, 3. Best Conversations podcast, man. Got my partner on here, Quentin DeBerry, Berry Company. This is a very special episode to me because I thought I knew my boy kinda, but then I seen him do an interview a couple years ago, and I was like, damn, I don't know nothing about, bro. Like, so this is a real treat for me. And anytime I'm interviewing somebody from from not my neighborhood. Quentin grew up in Scotland County just like me, same age, graduated the same year. So this is almost like memory lane, but almost like, you know, sometimes people see the finished product, but they don't know the struggle it took to get from A to Z. And tonight we're going to be talking to Quentin about how he made it from A to Z with a very striving, what he doing with his company, going to college and all that. So second time to the program because we did a little quick check-in
a
little while ago. But thank you for being on the program, bro.
Right. I appreciate it, man. Just kind of echoing some of the things you said is just really like this opportunity is super unique. Simply because we have been knowing each other probably, we graduated 2003, met each other probably, 9th, 10th grade.
Right.
And then like that, we were young men then, kind of fresh teenagers to be older men now. So we've experienced life at different points. So I'm super excited to talk to you, you know what I'm saying, catch up, and really help expose the platform for both you and I, and just to kind of share what we've been up to and really give something back to our hometown to show them like, hey, these are what these guys are doing. They're from here. And so I'm super excited. Can't wait to dive like more in depth.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So take me back to you grew up on what's the famous street in Laurinburg?
Which one? Mudagrass, Purcell Street, Produce Market Road.
No, where'd you grow up? You grew up on Mudagrass, right?
I grew up in Mudagrass. I grew up in Mudagrass from probably birth to 8th grade. Once my grandmother died in 8th grade, I moved with my cousins, my aunt, call them aunt and uncle, and we ended up moving to Washington Park. So I spent, I'll say, elementary all through middle school on one side of town, Cross Creek, Mudagrass, and then the later part of just kind of, for me, the true development of finding who I was and really being intentional. We moved to Washington Park, so that was like a total new experience.
I didn't even know you lived in Washington Park. Well, back then, I was from Wagram, so you was from Laurinburg. Even though we say we from, this is for the people that don't know. People that's
right.
They know. So I'm from Wagram, you from Laurinburg, so I just know you from Laurinburg, and I just kind of leave it at that.
Right.
Washington Park, I'm from Wagram. I know, like, that's one of those hoods, like, you like, don't go to Washington Park after night, you know what I mean, to go down. If I remember right, I'm old now, but I remember like Cross Creek and Washington Park used to be kind of beefing back in the day or something like that. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I would say back then, yeah. It was so odd though to me having the opportunity to kind of live on both sides, and really also understand, like, at the end of the day, at that time, our parents probably worked together in some capacity, or they play weekday softball down at the local, not JC Park, but the park by Scott, Presbyterian Park. But that experience was so unique. I really didn't have too many, like, what I would call Washington Park friends because I had just moved over there. And it was, most of my friends were still Mudagrass, so I still went to church on Mudagrass. I still hung out on Mudagrass. In terms of just Washington Park, it was different. I kind of just we stayed closer to the elementary school, closer to the highway. So I didn't venture, I would say, quote unquote, venture into Washington Park, unless I was going to cut grass at that time, my uncle's mother's house. And again, it was, you're going straight there to cut grass and then you coming back home. It wasn't really no hanging out.
You went to Sycamore Lane, I guess?
No, I went to I.E. Johnson. And I talk a little bit about, I think that was a unique experience as well. So I.E. Johnson was what it was, not the honors college, the AIG, what an academically gifted program. But I wasn't academically gifted or an AIG, but I grew up in that neighborhood. And so those students were coming in from various parts of Laurinburg. So I got a unique opportunity to see what I thought what success was at that time or what it looked like for students that were excelling. But I also had a background of growing up, I wouldn't say in the hood, but I grew up like in a tough environment where you had to fend for your own, or not even necessarily fending for your own, but you play with the neighborhood kids in terms of all sports. If one person fought, we all fought somebody. And so being in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, kind of seeing those dynamics, really, I think for me, played dividends as I've gotten older. But yeah, I went to A. Johnson.
Word. So take me to your bedroom as far as the posters on the wall. What it look like?
Right now or back then?
Back then, not now.
Back then, I would say posters on the wall. None.
Really?
Yeah, not too much because I just didn't know. I wasn't really into that type stuff, I guess I would say. I collected cards back then, so I probably had more like baseball, basketball cards. But as far as on like walls, nothing bare wall unless like your mom's what she put up on the wall that you better not knock off and touch.
Knock off. Because growing up as kids, you kind of, put the inspirations on the wall, your favorite sports teams, the Michael Jordan doc running right now. So I didn't know if if any of that stuff was up on the wall or anything like that.
Nah, I probably, because I still was like figuring out myself, and I was very private, very intimate with myself. Because again, you have to think about, or you may not know, like I didn't grow up with either one of my parents. By that time in high school, it was pretty clear that I knew that my aunt and uncle were not my parents, and there was just some things that they could and couldn't do. So I kind of went in this shell of just, I got to make sure I'm prepared for the next 4 years of whatever that looks like. And so I didn't really kind of was paying attention to what was going on outside of what was in my head.
I used to always see you in the library reading the newspaper by yourself. And I was like, wow, why is this dude always just in here in the morning? This is the morning before it started. And I was like, and I used to always like, damn, why's Quentin in here? And I didn't know you that well at the time. We probably was, and if my memory was right, I think we had like PE. I remember we had PE together once in 7th grade. I remember us playing ball. I remember playing ball a few times.
Yeah, and look, I still got it.
Yeah. So, but I used to see you in the library always like reading the paper and doing stuff like that. And I could kind of tell then that you was kind of, off to yourself. You know what I mean?
Right. That's wow, because I still do that. I just like still like, read the newspaper and like read the newspaper. Just for me, it was just kind of, at that time I knew that reading early on could take you basically anywhere you wanted to go mentally. And it also was something to be very intentional blocking out like just the negativity of thoughts that I was having. Again, not growing up with either one of my parents. I had RA, so my body's hurting. I think in 9th grade, was I working then? Yeah, I might have been working. I think I had a job maybe at Kmart, working part-time at Kmart. So I was really already, again, preparing myself for where I kind of wanted to go in terms of, like I knew Laurinburg wasn't my long-term home of where I wanted to grow up and try to conquer the world per se. But it was just more of like, man, I ain't really want to let too many people in my personal life. If you really didn't already know, it was no point in me telling you because I at that time I didn't figure you would understand. Right.
Yeah. I just thought it was mad unique, and I was like, damn, he just in here just chilling by itself. So what was some of the first where you found motivation in yourself to start looking at the world broader than just Laurinburg? Because no knock to some of our people from our hometown, but sometimes people get really lax and comfortable even in Laurinburg, or just saying, hey, I'll just work at this factory. Because at one time when I was struggling in my life, I thought like, hey, maybe I'll drop out of high school and just go work at the plant like everybody else. And that's what I thought that I was going to do at one time. So what gave you the energy to think broader than just Laurinburg?
I think just knowing I didn't necessarily have any couple things. One, I didn't have any attachments there.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is not there. My dad is not there, or at least I don't think he's there. I never met him. My grandmother's deceased. My grandfather's a little more older in age, but he's also encouraging me to kind of think broadly and really just motivating and pushing me. I think probably I got bit by the bug in probably like 11th grade. By that time, I'd been working at Athlete's Foot for a little bit. You know what
Best job in the city.
I'm saying? Best job in Laurinburg.
The whole farm jealous. Like, yo, how do you got it? I'm just like, yo, how do you got a job at Athlete's Foot? Like, what do you do to do this?
That's so wild. Okay, everybody used to ask me that. But
yeah, how did you get that job, bro?
Yeah, that was the best job. I thank God for that job. You know what I'm saying? I had just got fired from Kmart like a couple of months earlier. And just went over there and got really lucky. You know what I'm saying? But again, early on, even through all of this, I was, from a spirituality standpoint, I knew God had kind of, there's a scripture that talks about before I formed you in the womb, I called you. I kind of felt that early on, just kind of looking at my life, like knowing this is not normal, this is not regular. But in terms of going back to your question, I think 11th grade, senior year, not 11th grade, I got the yearbooks, and I began writing in the yearbook. So I think that was my first time of kind of telling myself what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, and how I wanted to do it. And one of the biggest things, and it's still at the house today in Laurinburg, is like one more year and you're out of this hellhole. It wasn't like I was actually living in a hellhole, but just the trauma, I call it now at my age now, post-traumatic stress of all of the stuff going on at an early age. Like, yo, I got to get out of this environment or I will not make it. So 11th grade was probably when it really turned on. And I kind of knew I was going to college. I didn't know where, but I knew I wasn't going to be in Laurinburg. And I just...
And what kind of student was you?
Man, my grades were like average. Like really average. I think I was smart in my head, but I hated writing. I hated doing the showing the work piece. I'm a strategy person. What's the quickest way to get to point A to point B? For me, it was about early in that time, like I need to be safe, I need to be secure, I need to kind of know my surroundings. So I kind of took that thought process and put it into my work. But an average student, like average. I think I was just more having that street smart in school smart that made me like a little smarter than I really was.
Exactly. It's crazy that you say like get the hell out of this hellhole, because you was probably a lot popular than I was, and I just felt like I was in a hellhole. I didn't even like looking from the outside from the outside looking in. I wouldn't even think that you was as stressed as I was. You know what I mean? I'm feeling like these 4 years, because middle school was cool, but high school it was the pressure of being popular, want to get girls, like what I'm gonna do next. Like I'm insecure. At this point in my life, I was insecure about myself. So, it'd be some classes where if it was like all the popular kids in there, I would be like super quiet. Like I wouldn't say nothing because I didn't want to hear the jokes. Because high school was it was so based on popularity.
Right.
And just to hear that it's crazy how you don't even realize somebody else is going through their own struggle at the same time, which is
right.
Crazy.
It is. Nobody would have ever thought that. Even now, it kind of surprises people when I like share a lot. But we can get into that though later.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Because I'm 4 years, man. It was some good times, but it was like, damn, it was cool, but I wouldn't want to do that shit again, man. And I snuck by graduation, like.
I think because I had grew up on two sides of towns. My family was pretty popular. My cousin Travis was like a star football player.
Right.
A couple of years I was in high school. So when I got to Scotland, I was already in ninth grade. I was hanging with seniors and juniors, so I got acclimated really quick. But again, I had this all of this stuff going on around me that to me that shit was just really pointless. It didn't add any significant value.
Right.
I knew the value was me leaving Laurinburg, both short term and long term. Like that was the value.
And for me, I got to salute to my big brother Davon, because it was great when he was in 9th and 10th grade. It was like, oh, that's Devo, little brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. But then the 11th grade year comes around. It's like, yeah, fend for yourself.
Yeah, for your own.
Yeah, you on your own, but yeah. Scotland was cool. What do you remember from graduation? It was
Uh,
This shit was like a blur now. I remember them. I don't even remember who the speaker was up there or anything.
It's definitely a blur. I remember the volleyballs or the plastic beach balls.
The beach balls are getting thrown around.
Doing the young lady, I'll call her friend Patricia Massey, really smart person, but doing her speech, it was like just that. I remember going out to like somebody's house, like in the country, in this big field, and having like this big old party. I remember a couple of months before that, our spring break, where we went down to Myrtle Beach, like Freaky Tiki Bar. A couple of us went down there. So I enjoyed high school. Like I had a good time. Like I had a really good time. I had a good time outwardly.
Mm-hmm.
Inwardly, I was just ready to go.
Right. You see, my best times of high school was like going to the club, like going to what the hell, Deja Vu, I think it was called. Whatever the shit was on Skybowl.
Okay. I know you're talking about Fayetteville.
Yeah, whatever that was, like them was like the best times, like, because it was like whatever I was dealing with in school, it was like that time right there, you just block it all out and you just enjoy yourself.
Did you ever go to the skating ring?
Never went to the skating ring. This is the struggle of living in Wagram. Now you said that you lost your parents, but I was adopted. Some people know, some people don't know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, me, Davon, Jarrell, Wallace, we all adopted. So my parents are older. If I'm 17, my mother is probably already like in her 50s.
Oh, wow.
So she's like, I'm not, and Wagram to Laurinburg is 10 miles solid. You know what
right.
I mean? That's it. And she'll be like, I'm not driving in the dark. I'm not driving in the dark, Kayvon. I'm not doing that. Blah, blah, blah. So the whole time the skating ring was popping on Friday nights, I never went once. The only time I would go to the skating ring was whatever PE class I was in.
PE class. That was our field trip. I remember that. I remember going.
The only time I would ever go in the skating ring. But yeah, so how'd you land on Winston-Salem State?
God, really. To be super honest, it's a wild story. So I only applied to 2 schools at a time. UNC Wimbledon. I applied to Winston-Salem State like really, really late. But fortunately, again, where we talk about how I kind of knew God was already kind of working and moving, per se, for lack of better words. My uncle's niece went to Winston, and she was like super popular there, like probably early 90s. So I'm talking to Aku. Aku said, Quentin, call this lady named Dr. Shirley Manigo. Tell her you know me. So cool. I call her up. This is probably a couple of weeks before graduation. Like, hey, Dr. Manigo, my name is Quentin DeBerry. My cousin Aku told me to give you a call. And as soon as I say Aku name, like this lady goes crazy.
Word.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa. Well, I don't know what the hell Aku did in Winston, but she the GOAT. So I get in Winston. I never visit Winston one time, not one time. I didn't even know what the campus looked like. Fortunately, I had been to Winston-Salem again. I had a good friend named Ava Kelly, who probably maybe in 5th or 6th grade, her parents had a cousin or a family member lived in Winston-Salem, right across the street from Wake Forest.
Okay.
So I had probably 5th or 6th grade. I had been to Winston-Salem and seen Wake Forest. I kind of knew what it looked like, but again, I'm a kid not paying attention. Fast forward, we go to Winston, know nothing about school, know nothing about college. I did all my FAFSA on my own. I paid for my applications on my own. You know what I'm saying? My aunt, bless their heart, you know what I'm saying, they took me to Greensboro. My cousin Travis was living in Greensboro, and my cousin Travis took me to the freshman orientation.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, me and him leave because we don't know. Like, we just leave. We check in and leave. Fast forward back, I come back to Laurinburg probably like 2 or 3 weeks after graduation. I'm in Winston full time for the rest of, you know what I'm saying, my life. After probably like 4th of July, probably mid-June 2003, I left Laurinburg.
What was the summer like before going?
The summer before going?
Mm-hmm.
You mean like our 11th grade year?
No, like we already graduated.
Graduation, man, I worked probably like 4 weeks and I was out.
You was out. Word.
Yeah, I left Laurinburg. I think I might have been one because I got accepted into an honors program. Okay. And so the honors program, again, that story with Aku. So Aku was in this honors program at Winston-Salem State. Mm-hmm. They loved it. I got 9 free credit hours. Got to stay on campus for free, like super, you know what I'm saying, super lit, as they say, you know what I'm saying, early. So I got adjusted real early. I got 9 free credit hours. I meet, my first time on Winston, like, cool, I meet these dudes from Charlotte. I meet these girls from Charlotte. I meet people from Burlington. I meet people from all across, like, North Carolina. And these are, like, really, quote-unquote, smart people.
So as far as people we graduated with, who's there with you?
Tiffany Graves. Tashika McCray was there for a little bit. But I think, again, God sent Tiffany was, like, my guardian angel. So me and Tiffany have been friends for a long, long time. Like, we went to elementary school, North Laurinburg together. We went to I. Johnson Middle School together. We went to Scotland High School together. And went to college together. She worked under one of my staffs when I was president for a year. She served as queen for a year when I was president. Class queen when I was president. She helped me, like, pushed me to go to grad school. So she was there with me this entire time, except summer school. Mm-hmm. She came in the fall, but I knew nobody at Winston at that time. I just went up there, like, just, quote, thugging it.
Word.
Like, thugging it.
Well, your first roommate, cool?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah. It was. It's a dude from the honors program. Okay. From Burlington, another kind of guy that, like, really smart. Like, first of all, I don't think any thugs go to college. I think you come from tough backgrounds, but you're not really a thug when you're filling out paperwork and you doing all this. Man, come on now. But anyway, it's a dude named Derek, and so we walk over to this. To this dorm room called Brown Hall at the time. They have no air, no AC. It's like 1,000 degrees in Winston-Salem. And we both looked at each other like, bro, we ain't living there. Ended up being roommates. He was my first roommate, dude from Burlington. Solid dude, ended up being a computer science major, like super smart. He had a car at the time. Because fast forward, I didn't have a car. You know what I'm saying? Because my aunt and uncle couldn't afford to buy me no car. So I'm like, yo, I gotta be able to move around. So Derek was a good roommate. I had 4 other roommates because we stayed in an apartment style. We didn't really talk to the other 2. It was just me and Derek. And we hung out with my other friends from the program.
Word. So so the next time, so I, like we said, graduation, that was a blur.
Yeah.
It's like, so next time I actually ever see you again, you didn't even notice. I'm living, so I moved faster than you moved. We graduated on a Friday. I left for Greensboro to live with Davon on a Sunday. Davon was going to I think at this time he already done left A&T, but he used to go to A&T, so he was already in Greensboro. So that's how I found my way to Greensboro. But I got accepted to Barber Scotia, but I wasn't like you. I bullshitted by filling out my FAFSA. That's a whole nother story. But so I see you. I'm riding around A&T campus, BSing. You know what I mean? Just looking for women, looking for girls.
Right. At that time,
right?
2000s.
Then I see you. It was like a game or something. It was like a Winston was up there for. I seen like a Winston bus or something like that. Then I see you like suited and booted, walking across A&T campus, and I was like, oh shit, that's Quentin DeBerry.
I remember that year. That's when we played A&T in football.
Okay, got you. And I was like, what the hell is he doing and why is he suited and booted? Like, and
with a little Winston town and everything.
Man, so I was like, damn, he must be doing some big things out there.
I think that was that might have been my first year student body president.
Wow.
So I'm thinking that might be 2005.
Right, yeah.
2004-ish, sometime. Yeah. And that's even being president was just wow. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing I intended on doing or wanted to do.
Because after I seen your other interview, and I was like, when you said you were president, and I was like, quit president. I thought I would never thought, because you was pretty reserved in high school.
Right.
I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's really crazy. So talk to me about that process of being student body president.
I think that was one of the craziest process again, man. So again, I go to summer school. I meet these random dudes, and that time everybody trying to fit in. We starting over, but we fresh because we got a 2-month head start on everybody. You know what I'm saying? So we there with football players. We there with football players. We there with other programs, and so I had some mentors or guidance counselors, and one of them was a Delta. Mm-hmm. And her friend, her line sister, was the student body president of the school that time. Mm-hmm. And doing this honor summers program, man, I was a Billy badass. Like, I wouldn't go to class. Like, nobody else wouldn't go to class. Mm. You know what I'm saying? I'll crack a joke. Other people crack a joke. And they pulled me to the side. I was like, yo, you have something. And I'm like, what you talking about? Like, people follow you. You're charismatic. You have leadership qualities. And I'm looking at them like, what the hell are y'all talking about? Because I ain't never led nothing. I've never public spoken in front of anybody. So I'm just looking at them crazy. So the counselor introduced me to a line sister, a lady named Christy Swing. And I think that was the moment that my life changed. Because I'm looking at Christy like, yo, you're like a Black woman and you're the president of a school? Mm-hmm. And it's your second term? I'm gonna be president of school 2 terms, and that was it. It wasn't nothing fancy. I seen her, and the words was basically like, yo, you probably get a lot of free shit, don't you? But I think she started laughing like, yeah, but it also comes with like this huge responsibility, this huge engagement, this huge commitment. Mm-hmm. And for me, that was the moment that my life really began to shift. In those situations that I grew up in Laurinburg, those situations of not knowing my dad, those situations of my mom leaving, the situations of RA, the situations of just getting up, that time playing football and really understanding what I was getting out of it, the time going to Athlete's Foot, the time where I had to walk home. That's when it all made sense. Mm-hmm. It was those leadership for me, it was learning leadership is about how do you take what you've been through and how do you share it in a way that's inspirational, that's engaging, that's not about yourself, but it shows people that they can get up and keep walking and keep going. But that was the moment when I met her across the hall in Rams Commons.
Wow, that's crazy. And what's some of the responsibilities that you had to? Cause I just went to community college, my G.
Come on, man, they got student body president at community colleges.
I never was into any type of thing. What are the responsibilities of dealing with this, doing that type of stuff?
Yeah, I think it was tremendous responsibility. So you're talking about, I still was, and the weird thing, you're still a college student. So you still want to have fun. You still want to go out. You still want to party. But some responsibilities where we were in charge of like rolling out, advocating on behalf of students for student fees, and tuition increases. We were in charge of planning homecoming for HBCU's homecoming concerts, that homecoming spirit week. We also was in charge of the new elections. We were in charge of kind of being the advocates and voice for students. And at the same time, you're learning leadership at a very high level because I'm managing or leading a staff of 13, 14 people. So that was very challenging, like just leading people leading Black people in 2003 was really tough. Because we all are smart as hell and we all know the answers. So it taught me a lot about myself. And so for me, I'm super grateful for my freshman class council staff, my sophomore class staff, and my junior and senior staff, because they taught me so much about not necessarily how to lead, but they taught me about me. Like, Quentin, you got to be a better communicator. Quentin, you got to treat people this way. So like those are the things you learn, but it's a lot, man. You're advocate, basically a student advocate at the highest level.
Word. Because I ain't see you partying, man. You know, I seen a lot of Laurinburg cats in the club back then around that time.
Oh no, I partied, y'all. Yeah, I partied. Yeah. I had a good. Trust me, I had a good time. Sometimes it got me in trouble, but again, I think, man, I'll go back. I party a lot. I party too much. I got in some trouble too, but God was looking out for you, boy. But again, I think growing up in Mutagrass, growing up in Washington Park, going to A. Johnson with our ALJ kids gave me the ability to be able to communicate with so many different people. Mm-hmm. Like now, at that time, I had friends that were Greeks, that were football players, that were in the band, mm-hmm. the one that nobody talked to, the smokers club, the drinkers club.
Right.
I just knew everybody, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, we all people, we all mess up. Like, why I'm gonna treat you so different or judge you when I know what I came from? Right. Like, I know where I came from. Absolutely. I have no room to judge you, and I don't want that burden to judge you.
Absolutely. So when did you catch this music bug where you wanted to be bigger than Russell Simmons?
I would say junior year, playing in like concerts, and so at that time, so Winston, we were bringing artists to schools all the time. Mm-hmm. And so some of the promoters at the time was like, hey, tell the artists to shout my party out. I'll let you in the club free. And I'm like, okay, cool. A couple of times it was all right. But then you realize how much cash they were making, how much money they were making. Mm-hmm. One of the guys I met in the program ended up meeting this girl named Baby Sean from DC. Mm-hmm. And we created this company, or they created this company called 80s Baby Entertainment. And so I will let Baby Sean open up for the artist, because she was like super like, yo, you talking about a female that could just wrap circles around people? Mm-hmm. It was her. So it was just kind of let her open up. But I was meeting people along the way, because at that time, Trey Songz managers had came to Winston, and I ended up connecting with one of them. Years later, we reconnected again. You had Bobby Valentino, Ludacris. So all these managers I'm coming in contact with, I was like, well, shit, I like music. Leadership is about being able to identify talent and develop that talent. I can kind of do the same thing. So I would probably say junior, senior year was when it really started to gain traction. And then the internship with Russell Simmons kind of catapulted it to another level in terms of just being able to co-sign it for people to visually see. But yeah, man, I had a good time chasing the music bug.
This is crazy, right? So around this time, unless you're going to Facebooks or whatever, but searching, but I would say around from 03 to like 07, as far as classmates, I really didn't know what people was doing. Unless I physically seen you out and about, or when I'm coming home or talking to you, I don't really know what people are doing. And then then it's years later when people are doing a little more social media, you kind of get caught up on, some of what people are doing. So when I listened to your interview and you said that you interned with Russell Simmons, I was like, what? When did this happen, man? Talk about that experience.
It was really crazy because I was sitting in my room May 2007, April 2007, and I was like, I'm trying to write a graduation speech for my classmates. Like, yo, what the hell I'm gonna say to college students about graduation? And at this time, MySpace was popping. Right. And it would say like my friend or online, if a person was online. Mm-hmm. So I'm at that time, I'm just like Googling quotes. So I put in like Jeezy quotes, Russell Simmons quotes, and like Sean Combs quotes, and just like presidential quotes. So I go through all of them, and I see Russell's shit blinking. Like, let me sit on a mess. Like, hey, I'm Quentin DeBerry. I'm student body president at my college, looking for a summer internship. I've never had like an internship. Cool. He responds, send me his resume.
Immediately?
Yeah, probably like 20, 30 minutes later. It wasn't like I had to figure out how I was gonna get to New York. So yeah, it was really quickly. It wasn't a long, drawn out process. So I emailed him. I'm like, oh shit, he responds. And so I really got my internship through MySpace. Like real talk, like through MySpace.
Good.
Yeah. And so it's like, yo, I'm this country dude. Really still ain't been nowhere. I've been on a plane a couple times. Never been to New York. Didn't know what New York was like. Crazy thing, my mom was living in New York at the time, but fast forward, I'm trying to figure out like where I'm gonna live, where I'm gonna stay, what's gonna happen, blah, blah, blah. We had a Winston-Salem State alum that lived in Brooklyn. And I called him like, yo, I need a place to stay. Like he opened up his arms, his house, his cabinets, his wallet, his friends, to me, for me to chase my dream. So I got to move to New York, not paying any rent. My uncle at the time was like, yo, this is something you want to do. He bought my flight to New York. And so that's how I spent the summer in New York running around, thinking about how to become this next music mogul, and really learned that Russell did nothing with music anymore. That's probably the biggest thing I learned that summer.
Take me to the first initial meeting with Russell. You from the I don't know if you rode the train or the bus or got in the cab. Take me through that on your way to meet Russell.
All right, so the weekend, I get there a weekend before, and the guy's name is D. He kind of takes me through the tour, like, hey, yo, this is what train you're going to get on. This is what stop you're going to get off. This is where you walk. So we do an actual dry run the weekend before I start. So that Monday I get there, Russell comes in just like, who the hell are y'all? Just like cussing. But it's not like he's cussing at you. It's more like a happy cuss. And that was really it. He would be in and out. I ended up directly interning with the general manager of his company, who was a former intern named Tanisha Warner, who basically.
This is Russell Athletics?
No, this is when, Russell Athletics was going on pastry. So at that time, you going in, you think it's just, the company's called Rush Communications.
Okay.
So I interned for Rush Communications, just Russell's office. So you go in and you see Fat Farm. At that time, I think he had 2 floors. So you had Fat Farm, Baby Fat was still going on. You had pastries and Run Athletics. You had Global Grind that was really just starting. You had the Diamond Empowerment Fund. You had Def Films or Def Jam Comedy Films. And it was like a couple of other companies. So what I realized, like Russell has this one company, Rush Communication, but it's like 14 or 15 kid companies under it that he's running. And so that was really what I learned. It was really how to take the brand, for me now, Berry Company, and then create these companies of niche specialties. And really what I learned from Russell was really hire smart people. Like just hire the smartest motherfuckers you can find. And let them be very smart at what they do. Don't get in their way. Create this big vision, create these big ideas, and let them play in the sandbox of figuring it out. So the summer goes on. I'm working on, I think we worked on a McDonald's campaign that year. Their big quarter pounder. I worked on some pastry stuff with Rashid Young, who I'm still cool with today. But so the summer's tailing off, and Russell has this one assistant named Simone Reyes, and Simone has been with Russell at that time his entire career. I'm talking about from when Def Jam was an idea to him selling the company. So Simone is moving, and Simone's like, hey, Quentin, can you help me put my stuff in a van? And so I'm looking like, yo, in my mind, like, I don't really want to do it. So I go help Simone move, and she's like, yo, I'm going to let you personally, I'm going to set up lunch for you and Russell. And I'm looking like, oh, I've met him before, not even thinking like, nah. She's like, no, I'm going to set up lunch for you and Russell. So me and Russell, she sets up time for Russell and I, and then Russell and I have probably maybe a 30-minute conversation of just a little bit who I am, where I'm from, and then my goals and dreams. And I'll never forget what he told me. So I was like, yeah, I took this internship because I wanted a record label. He's like, man, that's the dumbest idea you can ever have. And I'm looking at him like, what? You're still getting checks from Def Jam. Why is that stupid? Like, you haven't worked for them in years. But again, it was that, like, he branded the Def Jam name and then basically leases it to different organizations to utilize. Still maintaining looks like some type of ownership in the company, but it was like, think bigger than just having a record label and manage artists. Think about having foundations. Think about having communications companies. Think about having movie companies. Think about having production companies. And so that's why I translated to now. That's why you see H3. That's why you see Berry and Company. That's why you see Berry Management or H3. I mean, not H3, but Ethan and Madison. And that's why you see the Homeboys, because the ability to learn from somebody at that level, you don't take for granted, and you go learn everything you possibly can learn. And so that was my experience with Russell. So we just talked about 30 minutes. And it's crazy because he said, like, I have one time to call him, don't call him for no bullshit, that I can call him. I've tried to call him, he didn't pick up the phone, or he didn't answer no tweet, but other than that, it was a good experience. Again, I'm from Laurinburg. I'm from Mutagrass. Yeah, I'm sitting 2 feet from Russell Simmons.
Any crazy New York experiences about that summer that you still remember to today? Like a meeting, a party, anything?
No, because I got a chance to go back a few years later. And I think that whole thing was just new, man, riding on the subway. I think for me, the first eating off the side of the street, gyro, walking to Harlem to see, or catching the train up to Harlem to see one of my college friends who was there. I think she was working at MTV at the time. I think I went to a Neo party that time. No, Neo and Fab had a song. Remember the Neo and Fab song? Something Better, I think it was. I went to New York. I went to that party. So it was cool, man. So I was kind of slightly able to finagle my way into some industry parties. So that summer in New York was just awesome. Like, it was awesome. It was the best, one of the best times of my life, man. Again, I'm from Laurinburg. I take advantage of it. It's expensive. It was expensive as hell.
I can imagine, man. You mentioned the homeboys. You're really good friends with Hali Taylor, former NFL player. How impressed was you about, seeing him on his journey and seeing, like, damn, somebody from where we from is about to make the NFL? Or where was you at when you found out he did make the NFL?
I was in Winston because I think Hali and I are a few years. I'm a few years older than Hali. I think Hali he was one of those young men at that time that you knew had a really bright future ahead of him, just because he had already possessed the intangibles. Let's take away athletic ability. He had the intangibles of success, of being disciplined, hardworking, committed to the intangibles. He was just blessed to be 6'3", 6'4", and 2 and some change and move like a cat. But he had the intangibles. So watching it, you're always proud of the people from your hometown that make it in their respective careers. You're talking about Hali, you're talking about, we have doctors, we have lawyers, you have people that are directors. So anytime I see anybody doing something good from Laurinburg, I want to know what they're doing, what habits they have, because I know how freaking tough you got to be to make it out of there, man. Like, it's more than just dreaming. With them dreams come work. But watching Hali's journey was very special because I think he was probably one of the first in our generation to make it.
Right.
Super impressed, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I think NCAA was out, so I had to play with my Tar Heels because I knew him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was crazy, man, seeing even like seeing Jacoby playing for the Tar Heels.
Yeah.
Dewan, I remember when BT used to play HBCU football, and first time I seen Juwan McBride playing A&T.
Right.
So, man, when you from a small town that we're from, man, we just take pride in these stories and these young men in accomplishing their dream. And so, to see Hali get drafted to the NFL, man, that was crazy. And even going back a little bit before Russ, Junior Harrington, I remember seeing NBA game, like, yo, he used to coach me in Parks and Rec. I mean, his pops coached me, and he would coach us too. And it was like,
you see him on TV guarding Kobe at the time.
Right. Crazy.
Wingate. He went to Wingate.
With the Wingate, man. That was it was crazy, man. So so when you get back to Winston-Salem State, man, so you got this. So are you taking Russell advice, or but are you still trying to chase to get this record label popping?
Not necessarily record. I move more into kind of the management side of the term, the business side. Let me take a step back and look at. And that time, I knew that people were just being president, being president of school, you have so much access to information. Mm-hmm. And again, my networks are big. So people at that time were coming to me for a little bit, everything. So I kind of just focused on management. I started managing a few clients. At the time, I ended up meeting this young lady who's super talented, almost had her a deal. And then her mom came in and was like, hey, thank you, but we want to bring somebody else in. And I was like, yo, not on my records. Go get your own records.
So you went collect the masters.
Hey, look, I did learn a little something like them. My records, you record them on my set, them my beats. You can have them for this price. But anyway, you fast forward to that, I end up start managing a gospel artist.
Okay.
Knew nothing about managing a gospel artist, but I started managing this gospel artist at a weird time in my life because I was chasing that dream and I needed the spirituality again where somebody was praying.
Right.
So did that for about a year and a half, and we got to tour. We went to Alabama, we went to Ohio, we went to Michigan. We got the song played on the radio. We were getting interviews, and it's crazy because at this time, I didn't even have a cell phone. I'm making calls through Google Talk. So I'll find somebody and just grinding.
Wow.
Simultaneously, I ended up meeting this other artist named M. Bess from Raleigh. And the thing about M. Bess was he was African from Nigeria. Super talented, yo. Can write his ass off. I sent him probably like 9 records on like a Thursday, man. Friday morning, I had 9 new records.
Word.
Sent him another 9 records. The very next day, I got another 9 records. It's like, cool. So I called one of my friends named Delmar, who gave me my entry into the music industry. Like, yo, I got this artist, bro. He is fire. So sent Delmar the song, start working with Bess. So I'm managing, post New York, I'm managing these 2 artists. I'm living in Durham with my cousin, kind of just grinding it out, like just trying to figure out life. I ended up getting a job at I sold phones for like 2 or 3 months at a kiosk in a mall. And then I ended up getting a job at
what's the black
South
mall?
Point? South Point.
South Point. Oh, you went to South Point. Gotcha.
Because you have to remember, this is also the middle of the recession.
Okay. 08-ish.
08, 09. It's still like, I'm still struggling.
Right.
Like really struggling. Like, yo, man, I'm president of school. I just interned with Russell Simmons, and I'm here fucking selling T-Mobile phones and Banana Republic, but I'm still kind of focused on my grind because God has already taken care of me. He's already showed me. You know what I'm saying? I'm in New York. I got to go to New York and meet Russell Simmons. So I already believed in myself. So we grinding. We started making a little cash with the gospel artists. It's still chump change. The other artist is writing these records. And so we just moving. Then I hit a roadblock probably 2010. I moved back to Laurinburg because I have no job. I had nothing. And I got a job.
You had to move back?
Yeah.
Wow.
2010, moved back to Laurinburg for a couple of months. And I realized like my life is going, it's not moving. I'm sitting in the back. I had a Jeep that I paid, I ain't I paid for it, but a Jeep that I got. I was sitting on, I'll be on Moody Grass, just drinking 4 Locos, juices, smoking, doing everything wild, like everything but what I was supposed to be doing. My uncle, like, boy, I'm never forgetting this, yo. My Uncle Steve said, boy, I don't know what the hell you doing, but you gotta get the hell up out of here. He was so serious that the next day I left. Right. I got on 74, head up to 74. My friend Mike Scott, to this day, man, God is just so awesome. He had just moved to Charlotte from Fayetteville. Similar situation, struggling, but he got a job. His job gave him a 2-bedroom apartment for free. And I was like, thank you, God. So that summer, 2010 summer, I'm struggling. Mike helps me get a job, so I'm getting some money in my pocket, more money. I'm still managing the artists, but one of them is going, the female artists, we've completely severed ties. The gospel artists, we're moving because the money is slowing up, and like I don't like the label personally. At the time, I don't like the label. I don't like the way they're doing. Like, you're going to give away money. The manager who's doing the work is broke. I'm out. So we separate. I got this one client, and me and him still rocking. Like, he still believe in me. I still believe in him. We just cutting records. We sending them off. And every time we about to walk away or quit, something happens. So probably like middle of 2011, 2012, we cut this record called Blackberry Chick. Yo, Blackberry Chick comes out. Next thing I know, I see it on Sean Kingston's page. And Sean Kingston creates a song called, our song was called BBM Chick, and Sean Kingston was called Blackberry Chick. And that's when I knew I was like, hey, keep going, keep going. Fast forward to probably about 2012, 2013. The artist writer has moved to, I've got a job at Wells Fargo, so my life is kind of on the up and up.
What was your degree in?
My degree was in political science and political science. I didn't minor in anything. Marketing minor.
Cool.
And that's because, again, you just talk. You ain't got to do no business. I hated numbers. I wasn't going to med school. Bro, I thought I was going to be the next Russell Simmons for real. I didn't think I was going to need it all.
I feel you, bro. And you say you start working at Wells Fargo, and now you in this corporate world. Now, are you still thinking about the dream, or is you like you're thinking like Wells Fargo is just gonna be a quick little whatever?
I think the dream never stops. The goal never stops. You start making. I'm a strategy person at heart. You start making a strategic decision. At the end of the day, you still got to have money. We've made entrepreneurship. We made this grind so beautiful. Yo, Duke Energy, Time Warner Cable, Food Line, Harris Teeter, wherever you shop at, they don't care about no dream. They care about cash. So at that time, my first job at Wells Fargo at the call center, man. So I'm on these phones, busting them out.
Was this back in Durham, or where you at?
Charlotte. I got to Charlotte.
Okay, Charlotte. Got you.
So this 2011 Charlotte. So boom, I'm busting out the phone. I'm still chasing the dream. We still cutting records. I actually end up meeting a producer at Wells Fargo.
Wow.
Like, yo, I make beats. I'm like, yo, I manage artists. So me and him connected. We worked together probably 2011, all the way up until last year. We several times last year. But nah, I was just like, yo, I'm still young. I got cash in my pocket. I can maneuver a little bit. I'm going to keep going. You know what I'm saying? So that's what, the dream don't stop, dog.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like I remember you said that you went to the BET Awards. Talk about that experience.
Yeah. It's so wild. Me and my guy, Ricky Mitchell, we were Def Jam college reps. And this would be this dude named Spliff and DJ Steele. They used to be in charge of all the college reps for Def Jam. And yo, y'all come down to Atlanta, y'all don't rock with us for this whole year. Because me and Ricky, we basically ran the triad for Def Jam. So we remember Sharifa Like a Boss?
Of course.
Yeah, we brought Sharifa to this club called Metal Rebel, Megan Rochelle. But anyway, we would do all this stuff. And so they was like, yo, come on to Atlanta. So we get to Atlanta, come to find out these Negroes ain't even have us no ticket to get into the award show. Me and Ricky sneak in.
Damn.
So we get to see, like, I get to see L.A. Reid. I get to see Jeezy, Sean Pekash, like some of the Def Jam executive artists. We were in the hotel with Mano, and I'm never forgetting this. So my homeboy Ricky asked Mano at the time, like, yo, why wouldn't you sign the Queen Bee? Yo, and man, I thought Mano was gonna cave his damn chest in.
Word.
Like, well, I ain't signing no Queen Bee, because at that time, Mano and Lil' Kim, apparently they was tight.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that was it. That was that time.
Word. Yeah, man. That was yeah, I remember Mano running around with Lil' Kim and shit. But so now you manage writers, like you do a lot of management with the writers and stuff. How's that business going?
I think so. Our first record got my first big break in 2013. It was with Tamar Braxton, Love and War, number 9. I think a number 9 song called Pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I was managing Bess, the songwriter from Raleigh. And we basically, remember that relationship I talked to about Trey Songz managers coming back to Winston. Mm-hmm. So I ended up hooking up with D2 Music Management with Bobby Fisher. So me and Bobby got tight, and we would be on the phone like 1, 2 in the morning talking records. Mm-hmm. And we ended up getting basic placements. So nominated for a Grammy in 2013 for Love and War.
Congratulations.
I appreciate that. One of the first ones, like, just to say you nominated for a Grammy. So we got that, and that was like, okay, you in it. You got the credit. You got everything. So I'm thinking these placements gonna keep popping. Like, nah, it don't work like that. The artist at that time, Bess, got the placement and really wanted to seek new management. Mm-hmm. And so I had to start over and find a new.
How cutthroat is the management business, man? Mm-hmm. Man, it seems so tough, you know.
It's that shit terrible for good managers.
Right. I mean,
like, for good people that managers, it's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but if I put all this work in and get you to the promised land to only fire me at the end.
Only to fire me, right.
Yeah. Let me know that at the beginning. So one thing I did learn throughout that entire experience of managing artists even from allowing Baby Sean to open up for Winston homecoming concerts to having songs placed on All American, to have songs placed on what is that? Love and Hip Hop. Yeah, Love and Hip Hop. To having your songs playing in overseas is like, yo, make people sign paperwork and contracts and be legit with it. Like, yo, this ain't personal. This is between Berry and Company and your company, not Quentin and K-Bond. And so that's really one of the biggest things I learned. So now it's like, yo, cool, you want to talk to me? This is how much it costs. You want to work with me? This is what I'm expecting now. And it's like, you either take it or leave it, and not in a way that I think I'm better than anyone or that I have all this information. It's like, yo, I only want to be compensated for the work I put in.
How inspiring, because I know for me it was like, we finally got one when you seen J. Cole, finally blow up.
But no, I think it's special, man. One, he from the Ville, from Fayetteville. I think, and then the two things is what J. Cole stands for and what he's really rapping about in terms of like just the information he wants to give to people. Mm-hmm. The man is super talented. He has those winning characteristics of right. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna go out of my circle. I'm gonna do it different. So for J. Cole to really embody who he is, it's been fantastic. I remember when North Carolina wasn't even rocking with him, or Who Dat. They tried a bunch of records on him that necessarily didn't work. But I think J. Cole is a great representation of the artistry in North Carolina. I had a chance to work with Young Swift from Durham. Super talented dude, you know what I'm saying? Worked with him for a long time. Bringing him on and got to see him catch a few deals. And you're talking about myself being able to maneuver. They're SK, you got the guys from, I think they're from Rocky Mount. They wrote and produced a bunch of Trey Songz hit. Of course, you have the Baby now, who's kind of like the Michael Jordan, because I think he came at a great time and great era. But there's definitely been, North Carolina has some really talented artists. I think if we just keep pushing and plugging, we can and make some real noise. I don't foresee us being the next Atlanta. I don't see us being a major hub for music. Simply because of the way we're positioned from an economy standpoint, but I think there's enough talent here that we can make some noise.
Absolutely. I definitely think we can make some noise. It definitely shouldn't just be like debate here, next 7 years, here goes this guy, that guy. I think
right.
definitely room for more, man.
You have engineers that are in the game, you know what I'm saying? Not Queasy, but Quick from Durham. He's mixed some big life-changing records, some Travis Scott records, some major records, Justin Bieber records. Even from that side, kind of looking at our industry holistically and not always – I think we've done a poor job of just showing only artists.
Mm-hmm.
But there are like tons of jobs in the industry that we can teach people about, so that they take care of their families both short term and long term. Everybody can't be an artist. I think our last interview I told you early on, I knew I wasn't about to be 6'5". I ain't have no hoop dreams. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have no hoop dreams. I was like, I'll manage the hooper. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Before we get off of music, man. I know from where we from, man. It's it's a couple people that I feel like are really so close to getting it. The D Mitches, the Brizzo, the Beats. Like when you see the talent right out of our backyard. What do you think that would propel them to the next level and get to ultimately to their dream? Because at one time I really thought D Mitch was like right there at it.
I think not knowing each of those individuals' personal situations and what they got going on, I would say really organizing really teams to make. So what I've learned or what I experienced, particularly with North Carolina artists, they never have a real plan.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest difference between the Baby and other artists or artists locally that we're kind of referencing at this point is that he has an actual plan of, like, nothing is surprising. Mm-hmm. Like, he knows that this is going to happen because we put in the pre-work. So I think those artists that we mentioned, really hiring the right team of people to execute vision of where they want to go, road mapping. What month are we in? So we're in May 1st. Hey, by September 1st, we should be here in terms of downloads. We should be here in shows. Mm-hmm. This is the content we're creating. Being very more strategic and not thinking that the music is just it. Like, the music industry is more than music. That's why it's called the music business, the music industry. There's like other parts besides the music.
Right. Absolutely. So moving on, how'd you get into the tech world?
I got fired from Wells Fargo.
What you fired for, bro?
I got fired because the real reason they put on paper was failure to perform job duties, but the real reason was I pushed back a lot. I care about Black people a lot. I care about all people, but I particularly have a vested interest in people that look like me, talk like me, come from environments and economic situations like me. And so I stood up for them, and sometimes that standing up was the wrong way. I take 100% responsibility and accountability for me getting fired, because I definitely could have communicated a lot better. So that time in corporate taught me to just be a very communicative, and that people don't play fair. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it wasn't nothing detrimental, because I actually got to go back. It was one of those times where God really like, yo, I got to get you out of here, or you gonna stay here. Because I had started making what I thought was okay money, more than I ever made. I was managing a team. So I didn't really have no worries, but I wasn't growing or being developed anymore. And my managers was like, I didn't like the managers. I'm really big on who's leading me. Gotcha. Like, if you're gonna be in charge of my life, I need to be secure in your leadership. And I just wasn't secure in that leadership, and I told them.
Word.
But go ahead.
And then so that eventually makes you want to jump into the tech world.
No, so I ended up getting a job, needed a job, so I'm out. This is December. I got fired like a couple of days before Christmas, like the week of Christmas.
Wow.
One of my good friends, Aaron Blue, was like, yo, bro, just go be a recruiter. So I go be a recruiter, and I fall in love with tech. Mm-hmm. I fall in love with tech for what it does, what it can do, what it will do. But I fell in love with tech because, I ain't seen nobody look like me. Like, right. I'm in an office with 40 recruiters, 50 recruiters, 3 Black people in there. One, he's been in the culture so long that he no longer knows who he is.
Absolutely.
The other one, she gets there when I get there. So it's like, and we come from 2 totally separate worlds. So I felt like I was there by myself, and I would hear how, oh, he's a Black candidate. Like, yo, don't you see me standing here? I'm Black. Like, what you mean? And so that's where I kind of got in. And then you start really getting that inquisitive mind. You talk about how you used to see me go read the newspaper. Yeah, I just started reading articles on like, what is tech? And what is this going on? And then when you're a recruiter, I'm calling Kayvon, and let's say Kayvon's a data architect. Yo, if I don't know how to talk to Kayvon is gonna hang up on me.
Quick.
Cause like, bro, what you wasting my time? But so I started just Googling information, and I would have these conversations with candidates, and then I would figure out how do I utilize this service or this product into what I'm doing. So it allowed me to find graphic designers and really know what they're looking for and what they're working on. It allowed me to find web developers. And it's now giving me the chance to cultivate young Black talent in a way that's never been cultivated. And so that's how I got into tech. I fell into this shit because I got fired. But I love it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a techie. I don't code. I don't develop. But I know enough where I can hold my own and conversations, and I can help you get from point A to B, and I know how stuff works.
Talk about the gear, the branding. Like with a few times, everything is Berry and Company. Like talk about the brand and what does it represent, and all the umbrellas up under it as well.
So Berry and Company is really the parent. That's your mom and dad of all of my ideas, the mom and dad of my thoughts, and the brainchild. It just goes with my name, DeBerry, just short of Berry and Company. Following the philosophy of Russell Simmons. And we didn't talk about it, but I had a time to spend time with Sean Combs or P. Diddy, whatever we're going to call it. Same setup. Bad Boy Enterprise with 15 companies. I'm like, yo, these dudes are doing something. So I follow their model. Berry and Company is the parent company. You have H3, which handles really our tech engagements of how we engage with people of minorities, people of color, underprivileged, however you want to call it, that are looking to meet other Black professionals or underprivileged people that look like them, talk like them, where they can share experiences, share ideas and thoughts. And then the last piece of connecting with companies that want that really good talent. The reason we did that, I was a case study of H3, and it worked. Berry Management handles all of our clients in terms of who we manage from an artistic standpoint, and that could be mostly songwriters and producers. People have reached out to me about managing their modeling career, but I don't see the value there because it's not something I do. Then you have Ethan and Madison Publishing. Ethan and Madison houses all of our publishing. So when we do sync opportunities, when we do placements for artists and music.
Quit getting publishing checks, y'all. I didn't see them.
Yeah, I got a few publishing checks though. And so again, that's set up for Ethan and Madison just to really, I don't have to touch that. It's kind of set it and forget it. Ethan and Madison comes from, I think God gave me 2 guardian angels. That's Tiffany Graves' son, Ethan. And our really good friend, Kima Davis, has a daughter named Madison. And like Kima and Tiffany took care of me those 4 years in Winston. I think Kima was on my staff the entire time that I was president. But man, these 2 girls were like, Quentin, have you ate today? Quentin, did you just take care of me? Like, I'm sick, they take care of me. I need socks, they go get me socks. They just make sure my tie's on. They let me know if the street's talking, like, who are you too hot out here? They just was my like guardian angels. And so that's where Ethan and Madison comes from. Berry and Company, the parent, we do more strategy engagement for clients. So one of our biggest, we have a city client that we're working on, a big initiative with them. But they all feed into each other because of the networks. It's really plug and play. So we represent Berry and Company, H3, Berry Management, Ethan and Madison, and then our nonprofit or our private nonprofit partner, which is the Homeboys, is something I represent as well.
So let's talk about the Homeboys. I was fortunate enough to go in and see it from my own eyes of what the things that y'all doing to give back to our own community and in our backyard of Scotland County.
Yeah.
Put together a great ensemble of young men that come from where we from, and I remember you telling me y'all took y'all did the mountain climb or something like that. you had this. But talk about the work that y'all doing in the community right now, giving back to Scotland County.
To be honest, right now we're not doing nothing.
Which I
Huh?
Which I have more.
Yeah. But we have. I'm super transparent. But no. So the idea of the premise of the group was to really just take people, the homeboys, like home is Laurinburg, home is Scotland High, home is Wagram, home is Laura Hill, home is McIntosh. We just so happen to be all like men. Oh boy, we couldn't call home men, but homeboys. And so that's really where the name derived from. But in terms of work, it's really taking these really diverse experiences. We're talking about Holly Taylor, who from what was McGurk's Road, make it to the NFL and be selected by the Carolina Panthers. You're talking about Junior Harrington from Wagram getting drafted or going to play for the Denver Nuggets. You're talking about Aaron Blue, who owns a IT staffing company. You're talking about who else is it? Charles McCain was a football coach who did well. You talk about Josh Porter, who has his own business. Bruce Freeman has his own business. Terrell Manning, another young guy who's much younger than us, but that same path of discipline, hard work, make it to the NFL. And so for me, the strategy was you starting to look at all of these people. We all have something in common.
Absolutely.
That's grit, determination. We're from Laurinburg. Like, why I'm a big proponent, just give information. God will keep giving you information if you just give it away.
Right.
Like, I'm really secure in my blessings. I'm secure in my vision. I'm secure in my future. So I can give all this shit away because it's been given to me. It's like, yo, go give it away to help people. Like, that's really what it's about. And so we knew that being a young Black male coming from Laurinburg, the odds are like super stacked. We felt like if we can go directly and integrate into what they were doing, it would be pay some dividends for them. But one of the challenges we just saw was just we didn't have a lot of involvement. So it's really designing stuff that people be engaged with. We did do a couple events. I remember one of the highlights was walking through all the projects and us jumping off the back of the trucks and giving out food during the hurricane. Yes. It was during the summer when we had a tug of war, the Family and Friends Day. But again, we know a lot of these people. Right. And it's just really seeing kids look up to the Hollies and Bruce and Terrell's is super exciting for me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You have to be a kid that's 10, 12 years younger than us, enough at the time, and seeing a Holly and be like, my God, like that kid, like that guy made it to the NFL. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? You have to you have to see that and be inspired. You have to see that and be excited, man. Like
that's the only way it works.
Only way it works. And in our generation, I didn't really see that. You know, I didn't really see too many people reaching back to us. And if it was a drug dealer or something like that.
Right. Yeah. I don't remember no type of engagement like just nobody coming back and like, yo, this is how I did it. This is why I did it. And I thought that was so important because once I got to Winston, that's all it was.
Right.
Like, we just love him. Like Brett, little DeBerry, you my little mentee. I'm gonna take you under my wing, and I'm gonna show you the ropes. You know what I'm saying? I become a senior. Yo, Whitney, you my little sister. I'm gonna take you under my wings. I'm gonna show you the ropes. Anybody, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, I've learned a lot, Kayvon. Like, I've seen a lot, yo.
Yeah.
And so I want to be able to give that back to people. Like, yo, use this. Like, it's selfish as hell. And I see it a lot, particularly in young millennial leaders, Black leaders, that we want to hoard the information, or we want to be the person that rolls it out. To me, it's like, man, we all could be great. Like, what you do, I can't do it all.
Yeah, because some people, they feel like, man, I found this information, so you need to go find it the way I found it, and won't even help give back. And, you know, man, just give back, man. Like, you know.
Look, I respect the grinders.
Right.
So you grind, I'll help you because
right.
you grind.
Yeah, you got to grind. Like, you did right. You're not just going to say, hey, man, show me how to do a podcast. Show me how to edit your video. Like, yo, let me see if you're passionate. Because I'm not just gonna give away the game, because I had to, you know what I mean, salute the Cool Cannon, one of the probably one of the best photographers in the game, and he was, you know, working with Sean when Sean was doing music heavy as an artist rather, and you know, the best thing I could do at that point was like watching him shoot the videos and that point, and I would like ask him little tips and stuff, and he'd be like, yo, dude, it's on YouTube, like, you know what I mean, like, just go look on YouTube, and that's how you do it. But I was really seeing Cool Cannon, you know what I mean, which he used to rap, he was doing his rapping thing, and seeing him pick up the camera.
He actually was good though.
He was
nice. H&X.
Yeah,
he was actually nice. Hostile and Spooky Brown.
Right.
He was actually nice.
Yeah, it was, man. And so seeing Cannon pick up that camera, man, I was like, yo, F this rapping shit. I'm about to go pick up this camera. Because really, I fell in love with, like, web series and series, like, on YouTube and stuff.
Okay.
And I picked up the camera because I really wanted to shoot, like, short films and mini films like that. And that's really still a passion. I'm working on a project.
I'll say do it.
I'm working on a project as we speak. It's going to be really, 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 really dope. But on Q, man, I'm just so glad that we got to talk, man, because I know somebody is going to see this and you know, and get motivated and everything you doing, the way you brand and everything. Look at this man. He branded up. You know what I mean? get your stuff together, man. Be always branded up. But I thank you for taking the time out, being on the show, man, being on the pod, man. You is really appreciated, bro.
Yeah, man. I want to echo the same things, man. Like, yo, for real, this the conversation was so organic,
right.
And real. And I think about some of the, and we talked a little bit about both playing football but really not playing.
Right.
I remember it reminds me of some of those battles and one-on-ones.
Right.
To really come back full circle now. I wouldn't say we had beef. I wouldn't say we didn't like each other. It was that we didn't know each other. And we were both SARS 2 players on the team.
Right. I mean, we both played in the 10th. We both played football 10th grade. We was both didn't get in the game unless we was up like 2 touchdowns. And yeah, we didn't know each other, and we was both like in the same boat.
Right.
And initially, I gave up football at around the same time you did. You know what I mean? But I did have a plan. DeBerry. So after 10th grade, right? So I done missed the whole workouts the whole summer, because I usually, if I would go with Devo, I'd be kind of good because he would go to the workouts because he was super passionate.
Yeah. So
right. So by this time he done graduated, goes on the A&T. So I didn't go to the workouts all summer. And so I thought, like, yo, because Davon did this 11th grade. I was like, yo, I'm going to go play JV again, 11th grade, and I'm going to dominate. Man, I went to my first practice. So first off, the coach was looking at you like, you ain't been here all summer. Like, what are you doing here? Like,
and Scotland coaches at that time were notorious for it.
One thing about Scotland football, man, you have to be dedicated. And anything you're doing, really, you have to be dedicated. You have to. So that really taught me right there was I can't just pop up here the first day of like when we get back to school
in August.
And I ain't been to practice the whole summer. They done practiced the whole summer. Even if I was just about to go play JV, that is just not that easy. And that taught me right there, like, you got to put the work in. So that plan, so kids, taking the shortcut does not work.
Yeah,
put the work in.
Temporary.
And if you listen to Quentin's story from A to Z, it's all the stuff in between that makes you who you are. This is what this podcast is about. It's showing the grind from A to Z, and everything that happens in the middle is what that makes you as your man, as the man you are. You cannot skip no steps. And I learned that day. One of the coaches made me feel so bad that I didn't even come back. I was like, I practiced that day. Then I was like, man, F football.
I don't know if it was Coach Barfield, but like something you said is so super important about not skipping the steps. Like all I know is work. All I know is grind. All I know is achieving. All I know is accomplishing. But like, yo, I put the damn work in. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't know. Like I was walking from Athlete's Foot to my house in Washington Park.
You told me that one night we was talking on the phone. That was crazy. So that's another perception I had. I was like, man, this nigga Quentin got the. I didn't know none of this shit. Like this nigga Quentin got the life made. He's mad popular in school. This nigga works at Athlete's Foot, and just to tell me that you was walking from Athlete's Foot to where
Washington Park at 9:00 at night. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
I slept in my car more than once.
Mm.
Like it's a grind, man. But I really believe in a couple of things. Like yo, one thing you gotta have this super astronomical faith. Like you gotta have that. Like you might not have to believe in what I believe in, but you better have some faith in somebody and something. And then those three letters from H Street, you gotta hustle. P Diddy taught me that. Like yo, just keep running because the person to the left and the right of you, they're gonna stop. And now they're either gonna stop to take a picture for Instagram, or they're gonna get tired. You know what I'm saying? That's the one. Like, I gotta show you where you're at. And the other piece is the hungry. Like, go get the information. Hungry is you call me tonight. Like, yo, can you be ready? Can you do tonight? Yeah, I'll move my shit around. That's the hungry. Go get the information. Hungry is me sitting in the library reading the newspaper. Hungry is me going to YouTube and learning how to. What do I need to put my lights up, or what I need to be design better web series, or to be a better photographer. Hungry is about asking questions. And then the humility, man. One of the biggest thing I've really learned out of all this shit, like, you can't be no asshole. Like, people don't like assholes. You know what I'm saying? Don't be no asshole. And I used to be an asshole because I felt like.
Definitely used to be an asshole.
I felt like a part of me felt like the world owed me something because I was out here grinding and winning. Like, yo, you ain't put the work in. Why should I share my shit with you? But I realized, like, you can't win like that. You know what I'm saying? So my thing now is be faithful in your faith. Hustle a little bit. Stay hungry. And humility, man. And God, he will give you and share, like, everything you ever wanted. Like, everything I've ever asked God for in my life, Kayvon, like, real talk, I ain't got it.
Absolutely.
Like, it may not came like that, didn't come that next day, but when I needed it to come, it came. You know what I'm saying? I went to grad school, got my master. I asked God, like, I need to double up. We double up. You know what I'm saying? I was like, hey, I want more music placements. I want to be engaged a little bit with my community. Here come the homeboys. Here come the placements from All American. But it's all of this is, I've been focused on putting people in the right position, and I've cared about people because I've had people care about me.
Absolutely.
But overall, man, I fucking enjoyed it, man. Real talk. I fucking had a blast. I wish I'd had a haircut, but
man, we all quarantined.
Right. I do get mad when I see people on podcasts with fresh shape ups. Like, bro, where you get that from? You're supposed to be locked in the house.
My barber has me on secrecy. Like, I can't tell nothing. I was texting this. I texted him, right, and I said, "Yo, can we set up with blah blah blah?" He said, "Yo, I don't know nothing what you talking about right now." And then he called me. I was like, "Yo,
yeah,
like, yo,
I get it. I
definitely get it. This is his profession. This is his business, man.
Right. This is his livelihood. So I definitely get it, man. I wish best wishes to you and your family. You know what I'm saying? We definitely got to do a live version.
Absolutely, man.
I would feel more to share.
I would love to interview all the guys from the homeboys, like a whole panel style, because, man, y'all, you know,
Let's set it up.
Yeah, all of y'all, man, are just so great collectively. I seen Hali and Bruce.
They flipping houses.
Yeah, flipping them houses, man. Like, it's just amazing, man. And
I probably shouldn't say flipping houses. They're real estate moguls.
I don't know about it, so I just.
Hey, it looked good to me. It looked good to me. But that's, again, I really want to. My biggest thing particularly for Laurinburg, man, it's really like, yo, stop pushing all these kids to go be sports athletes. the numbers, it's a sheer numbers thing. It ain't nobody hating. It's numbers.
Right.
It's numbers. Numbers. They all not make it to the NBA. They all not make it to the NFL. We probably get 1 out of 50.
And that's every high school. That's
right in America. And everybody like, yeah, my kid going to the league. No, put a book in their hand, expose them to something different. And so that's why I'm always I push kids like into tech now. Like, yo, go find a tech skill. You don't have to love it. Find a tech skill that you can just utilize it and back up on. But man, I won't hold you because we could talk all night. But again, be safe.
And it's all good, man. It's nothing but love on this side. I like the great Issa Rae says, I'm rooting for everybody black. You know what I mean? If you from Black, you from Scotland County or anywhere in the 911, I'm rooting for you extra hard. So if anything I can ever do for you, my brother, you know, it's always one call away, and you know I can, you know, any way I can help, man. But peace and blessing to you, man. This is Best Conversations Podcast. That's Quentin DeBerry. Tell them how to follow you, Quentin.
You can visit my website at QuentinDeberry.com. That's QuentinDeberry, QuentinDeberry.com. You can also follow me on Instagram, and that's DeBerry Co, as well as H3 Charlotte CLT. Instagram DeBerry Co, and then H3CLT. I'm on Twitter as the Black Tech Recruiter, or Quentin DeBerry on Twitter. Rarely tweet. LinkedIn. Reach out to Kayvon if you're trying to do business with me, and he can connect us. And again, I like to end. That's the real reason I got fired, man. I support everything Black, yo. Like, and I have some friends that are not. I obviously have friends that are other races, but I have a vested interest in Black people because.
Man, badass wide receiver when we was in high school.
Who?
What's the name? Josh?
No, Josh Porter. That's my dog.
Yeah, as I said, Josh Porter. Yeah. You know what I mean? Don't like we're racist.
Yeah. Josh, my dog. And it's crazy how I met even Josh. So I was leaving an event, and I went and like, man, I'm gonna go grab me a drink. And yo, this big ass hand comes and just grabs me by the shoulder in the club. I'm already dolo, so I'm like, oh, who the fuck is grabbing me? Turn around to Josh, and we've been cool. And this is probably.
How cool was y'all in high school?
We wasn't real like cool, but we went to spring break together down at Myrtle Beach because he played ball. So we knew each other very familiar, but it wasn't until to that moment that we got like really tight. I ended up going to Jamaica for New Year's, 2015 New Year's. We ended up going to Charleston for a little bit, hung out. Him and his girlfriend at the time, was fiance now, they cooked me dinner, hibachi dinner for my birthday a couple of years back. So Josh is my dog. That's my guy. Before that, I'm good friends with a lot of people from Scotland, man. I'm proud of every last one of them.
Remember him and Velton was like the starting wide receivers for that team.
Belton, tall self, cool with Belton. Belton was a good dude in high school, though.
Yeah.
He really was. Belton was a really solid dude. Like,
all Dwayne had to do was throw that shit up in the fucking when they in the red zone. That nigga get that.
Dwayne didn't throw that. Cam was throwing it by then.
Now this was 10th grade. Dwayne was.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Other 10th grade. I'll say about high school. I mean, Cam was the quarterback then.
Yeah. Cam was quarterback then, man. But yeah, man. But like I always say, man, keep God first. Everything will work itself out. This was another edition of Best Conversations Podcast. Peace, love, and blessings. I'll catch you on the next one. I got a really big interview coming up, Quentin, that I can't wait for everybody to see, and it's gonna be a big one. So make sure y'all stay locked in, man.
For sure. Make sure y'all holler at Best Conversation, man. Appreciate it, Kayvon, man. Y'all take it easy.
All right, peace, bro.
All right, peace.